Hey guys, how you doing out there? It is Joe and Darren with Urban Hillsides Real Estate. Thanks for joining us today for another edition of Real Estate Reality. And Darren, how you doing out there, man?
Doing good, man. I like that hat. That's a cool hat, man.
You do?
What is
Yeah. Well, that's for Undefeated, the shoe brand that's she. For the last, give it to him, 20 years. But, much better than a mass of hair that has not been arranged. So I'm going for this.
That's
I'm going for this.
All right. Well, I don't have that issue ever. So if I'm wearing a hat, it's not to cover up hair issues.
All right. Well, look, guys, we are going to do the usual. We're going to talk about recent solds in the last 7 days, actives that Darren feels are really interesting in the last 7 days, and, of course, our topic. Our topic today is the mystery title, Better News. So we are trying to always put some positivity into this market, no matter what, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And then we'll talk about mortgage rates, see what's going on there. And I guess really, Darren, we should start with our famous disclaimer. Here we go. Hold on. All right.
I'm not hearing nothing.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Hold on. See, it's better if I just say it, and then we know. Hold on. Hold on here. Share the tab. Oh, there we go. Share the audio.
Juan and Gerard Real Estate Agents at Avenue 8 under the Urban Hillsides brand. All opinions expressed by Urban Hillsides or guests on this video are solely their opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Avenue 8. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Urban Hillsides as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of Urban Hillsides team's opinions. This video is for informational purposes only.
So, we're making this segment an entertainment part of our...
I was going to say, it's like our running joke. So today I chose African American woman of middle age, and so I thought it was pretty good.
It's funny that you say that because I don't want to sound offensive in any way, which I know could happen. Anything you say these days,
right?
But
right.
I was going to call that the gender neutral voice. That could have been a male or a female.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah. That's where I would have gone.
She still sounds like a robot, but anyway, there we go. We are now safe. But one thing I wanted to do is welcome a new team member. We'll have more information on this guy. We might have him as a guest in the next week or so. Lorenzo Ramses, thanks for joining us here at Urban Hillsides. So if you're watching, kudos to you, my friend, and we're looking forward to working with you.
Yep.
So. All right, so let's go ahead and dig into the mortgage rates, what that picture looks like. Let me pull up Mortgage News Daily. News Daily.
I see Lorenzo's there. He's chiming in.
Right on. What did he say?
He's just applauding for his announcement there.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
all right.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, great. So this is our part of our market snapshot. We'll go into further detail later. But let's go ahead and look at the rates. And let's start with the 30-year graph here. So this is Mortgage News Daily. This is what I noticed. And Darren, obviously you can chime in. This is making me feel better because it's at least a tighter pattern. It looks more stable. It may not be, again, the days of old, 3% interest rates, but you've seen all this craziness in the recent past here. At least now it's looking to stabilize a bit. That's my hope. What do you think?
No, I agree. Are you going to share the screen, Joe? Are we going to look at it or?
Oh, okay. Well, let me do that too. Gosh, I am off today, guys. Entire screen, boom, boom, boom. There it is. Okay. So you'll see that Mortgage News Daily set their survey for 6.95% on the 30-year. But as you can see, what I'm talking about is a lot of volatility. And at least here, we're starting to see some stability there in the graph on rates.
It's absolutely the case. Nobody's going to get used to rates until we have a stable run. Not that I think this year it's going to settle into any specific stable position. With the Fed still trying to manage inflation, we're going to go through more volatile spikes. But I support the stability, and it will help stabilize the market in general.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the larger picture, the smorgasbord. 30-year fixed, as we said, 6.95%. 15-year fixed, 6.32%. Nice. 30-year jumbo, 6.7. 5-1 arm, 6.94. 30-year FHA, 6.63. 30-year VA, 6.65. And there we are. Thursday's rate trend, though. MBS prices, that's mortgage-backed securities, are significantly weaker so far today. This strong downward movement in MBS will most likely result in higher mortgage rates for today.
Yeah.
All right.
And we have a move up. Yeah, by 0.5. So, yeah, I think psychologically, if we peak over 7, it just is a real turnoff for buyers. And really, obviously, it's a turnoff because they're paying more money. That's a given. But even the psychology behind it and the movement away from the market is bad. So I really hope it stays under 7, no matter. I hope that range is below that number.
Yeah, you can see her prior year, 5.88, 6.07, 6. We were in the 6s, but the low 6s. So,
yep,
still have some work to do.
I think low 6s would be very welcomed.
Right. Okay. Well, great. That is our quick shot at that. What I'd like to do now is go to our topic, and it comes from Yahoo Finance. And let me just pull up the name of it. I'm calling it Better News. But yahoofinance.com, housing's inventory problem got a little better in May for buyers and renters. So home buyers contending with the lack of homes for sale got some relief last month as builders broke ground on more houses and ramped up their future development plans. Renters, meanwhile, should also see some relief on rental prices as a wave of new supply hits the market. New construction of both single and multifamily units jumped 21.7% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.631 million units in May, according to the Census Bureau Tuesday, from April's revised rate of 1.34 million. That was 5.7% above a year ago and higher than the 1.4 million units economists surveyed by Bloomberg had predicted. Permits to build increased 5.2% to an annualized rate of 1.491 million units in May from a revised 1.417 million the previous month, with increases in applications on the single-family and multifamily sides. The figure came in higher than the Bloomberg consensus expectations of 1.425 million. The persistent shortage of homes for sale has been a challenge for buyers who have increasingly turned to new construction. That trend is a boon for home builders and has brightened their financial outlook for the year. The housing market has continued to normalize and recover as buyers have become more comfortable with higher mortgage rates, Leonard Corp co-CEO Richard Beckwith said last week on the builder's earnings call. Inventory levels in the resale and new home market propelled demand for available new homes, and we offered a combination of attractive pricing and compelling mortgage rate programs to capture that demand. Single-family housing starts in May jumped 18.5% from April to a seasonably adjusted annual rate of 997,000. Building permits for single-home construction rose to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 897,000, up 4.8% from April's revised rate of 856,000. New construction has become a key part of today's housing market. More than a third of homes on the market this spring were new construction. The National Association of Home Builders estimated that share is historically around 13%. The shortfall of resale properties, largely because homeowners don't want to give up their current low mortgage rate for one in the mid 6% range, has buoyed confidence among builders, which finally turned positive in June. Builders also were able to cut back on the number and size of price reductions. With such limited resale inventory, spec housing fills a significant gap in supply. We expect that specs will continue to comprise between 30 and 40% of our sales for the foreseeable future, Toll Brothers Chairman and CEO Douglas Yearley said late last month in the July Home Builders earnings call. The more stable environment has allowed us to increase price in more than half of our communities. On the multifamily side, starts in May soared 28.1% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 624,000 from 487,000 in April. Building permits for multifamily construction rose 7.8% to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 542,000 from 503,000 in April. More rental supply is scheduled to come online in the second half of this year, with the number of newly built units reaching the highest level since the 1980s, according to RealPage. We're going to deliver more supply than what we can realistically absorb, Carl Whitaker, Director of Research and Analysis at RealPage, said, previously told Yahoo Finance. That's good news for renters who are finally getting a reprieve from skyrocketing rents during the pandemic. The median asking rent dropped to $1,995 in May, down 0.6% from a year ago, Redfin reported this month. The sharpest annual decrease since March 2020. Rents have cooled in part because the number of rentals on the market have grown, giving landlords less leeway to hike prices because they're grappling with the rise in vacancies as renters get more options to choose from, Lily Katz, Redfin's data journalist, wrote. So I read a lot of big numbers there, Darren, but how do you want to break that down? I've got some ideas as well.
I'd start by saying these, again, we choose many national articles. These are national numbers, national ratios. This is going to impact different communities more than others. Rents are not coming down. Rents are not coming down in Los Angeles, although they're building more homes in Los Angeles. And I can't say this enough, so I'm going to say it every time we have an article that's related to it. If you want to keep people housed, if ultimately you want to prices to stabilize and stop rising in both rents and housing, if you want to, you have to support more housing. So this is a positive article to bring these online. It doesn't mean there's an impact tomorrow in sales or in rental prices, but you've got to support it moving in this direction to have the impact if that's what you're seeking.
Well, for me... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this article touched on a couple themes and ideas that we've talked about in the past, which is, one, the sprawl, right? Lorenzo, our new agent, he works out of the Valley, Santa Clarita, Reseda, all that. And in our stories with him, he's been talking about a lot of new construction there is up in that area. You get pushed out to where you can afford. So that is the sprawl and the way development is happening here. You've got to drive a little further to get a better value.
Yes, I mean when you're starting with a dense city, there's obviously been massive NIMBYism in most dense cities by a large percentage of the population not wanting to increase further. So it is about going out. Los Angeles has a long history of doing that, of growing horizontally, not vertically. And, we're finally embracing, and have been for a couple decades now, more vertical growth.
Yeah. And then, we had that insurance story about how insurance is either being canceled or it's going up in price because of fires and natural disasters. And I guess that'll affect all these new developments on the outskirts of LA at some point. Maybe not. I don't know. It's like it's getting sandwiched together, right? All this.
Certainly, particularly in pushing into the hills. That's where it's going to be most impacted. I imagine developers who were considering projects adjacent to large mountains and hillsides, which can often be more affordable land purchases, although it takes grading and more expensive foundations. But it can be for many, as
Mm.
I support it, a higher quality of living, uh,
Yeah.
pun intended. To
Yeah.
be elevated and see at a distance. It's definitely
Yeah.
something that I embrace.
Yeah.
So yeah, there will be more restrictions related to insurance. I think it's going to take our state to dive into that a little deeper. And
Right.
yeah,
But as you're saying, right, we all have to go with this positivity of we need to develop and get people in homes, no matter what the case. I guess here in our area, what we see is, I guess, small lot development happening. Uh, that's the best news, I guess, here in our city, right? Small
small lot
lots,
and ADU combination of both. Yeah,
ADUs,
ADU
right,
really helps a
right.
lot.
That's our attempt.
Ironically, one of the things we still kind of embrace, which if you go to bigger cities that are denser and have been denser than us for a long time, is just smaller square footage, man. I mean, we're still building these, somewhere between 1,500 to 2,500 square foot spaces
Yeah,
with two bedrooms. I mean, we've seen on many cases in LA, two bedroom, 3,500 square foot houses.
yeah.
And you're just not housing as many people in those situations. So there's been an acceptance certainly of smaller square footage spaces, and that is very local to us and our neighborhoods because we have a lot of
Yeah.
older hillside homes that were built in the 20s, and you built smaller homes back then. A lot of them were smaller,
Yeah.
and a lot of the bigger ones
Well,
got subdivided.
and this is I'll end very soon here, but my only other observation is, there was a video to this story that I didn't play, but one of the things that the analyst pointed out was, and again, this is that push and pull of different interests. Why does a new home builder, at least in LA and other areas, want to build affordable housing? They want to build luxury housing, big square footage, so they can make their profit margins. And that's not necessarily,
Right.
what should be happening. But they're not
Well,
rewarded enough, maybe.
right. I mean, when you're dealing with, I really wish people would. I believe people can work together better, right? You're dealing with government. Government's not building housing, affordable housing.
Yeah.
They're trying to create some subsidized temporary type housing. So they're building some of it lately.
Yeah.
But usually they're involving a private entity to help produce that. There could be a better collaboration.
Yeah.
There really could, to get more reasonably priced. But the reality is, you have to incentivize private entities. Unlike what our government currently does with existing housing and rent, they're completely disincentivizing private landlords.
Yeah.
It needs to be the opposite. I mean, people just naturally want to be successful. Government has to help promote that success,
Yeah.
but it's okay to set some boundaries if they're going to help participate in,
Yeah.
in letting you become successful. So,
All right. Well, look, guys. So that is the better news. Let's hope some of this trickles into the city at some point, or go out and join the burbs. All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to go to Sold's top picks, and we're first going to find our. Let's see here. Seller wins and buyer wins. Let me just pull that up. There it is. Okay. And gosh, man, did anything shout out at you this week about the local market? So we try to nuzzle into Northeast LA communities. This is, I believe, 12 solds this year, or this week rather. Anything come out at you in looking at these numbers?
so yeah, I mean, we have to consistently evaluate some area, and it's got to be semi-hyper local.
Yeah.
So this is where we're at. Yeah, some reductions. Some areas, there were a few well over.
Yeah.
I think it was the last one on the list there, but it was underpriced and just had all the charming elements that we always discuss.
Yeah.
But not only maybe it sold for less, or even some of the ones that sold close, they
Yeah.
had reductions, and it shows that when you look on the MLS. So it started at a higher price, it was reduced, and then it sold at a
Uh-huh.
price related to that reduction.
Right.
So even on some of those that are coming in even or slightly above, we are seeing some reductions prior to the completed sale price.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. So, with the 12 solds, we'll run the numbers here. You know, the only thing that I noticed, and it was a bit weird, was days on market jumped up quite a bit, 24.5. So we had some that were really on here quite a long while. 24.5 days. Usually we're in that 2 week zone. Didn't happen for the last 7 days, at least here. 12 solds we talked about. Last week was 11, so not a big change there. Pendings, not big change there. 19 this week, 18 last week. 27 actives. 40 was the real upsurge last week. Went back down and kind of stayed in the range that we've seen at 25, 31, that kind of area the last couple weeks. Median, strangely enough, it was at 100%. So if you looked at all these numbers, it was very balanced, right at the list price, most of them. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first seller win. Bear with me here. Okay, so the first one is 911 Crestwood Terrace, and this started at $989,000. It landed at a sold price of $1,190,000, and that was a $201,000 increase, 120% of list price. It took 8 days on the market, and let's see what they saw. Hold on here. All right. So 911 Crestwood Terrace, this is in Highland Park, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, 868 square feet of living space, sold at $1,190,000. Lot was 4,998 square feet, and as I said, 8 days on the market. And this is brought to us by Deirdre Solomon on the seller side, and on the buy side, Rob Kallick and Sarah K. Sexton represented. So congratulations to the agents and the sellers and the buyers. What do you think, man?
Elevated above the street, good amount of mature trees. You've got a nice, this is a house that's set way back on the lot, so you're experiencing all the lot in front of you when you're in the house, so you feel really separated from the street. You've got a nice indoor-outdoor flow into a level patio, which expands your living space, and then a private yard in front of you right below that. So it probably feels quite expansive when you're in the space. 2-car garage, and a good spot. So maybe a little underpriced, but seems about right at 1.2 to me.
Yeah. I put view, stairs. I gave it a plus or a minus on the stairs, depending upon who you are. But outdoor space, deck. But for small square footage, it feels really good. It really does. Private, cul-de-sacs. So there's no in and out traffic there other than the neighbors, which is good. And I did feel like it was priced a little low. But that's kind of how it's been lately. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's see. We are off to... looks like 1135 North Commonwealth Avenue, and that started at $1,095,000, landed at a sold price of $1,290,000 for a 118% of list price. Again, 8 days on the market. And I didn't call the agent, but I have a sneaking suspicion, Darren, this is somebody that saw our Benton Way small lot, because it's the same agent and it's got that look.
Got it.
So anyway, 1135 North Commonwealth Avenue. This is, it says Silver Lake Echo Park, but this is Virgil Village. I guess it's touching a little Silver Lake, isn't it, right there? 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 1,571 square feet of living space, sold $1,290,000. The lot, 6,250. It's not all theirs, though. They're sharing it. Days on market, 8. And yeah, this is brought to us by Michael Cafe. And on the buy side, Satchel Herman. So congrats to both of them, their sellers and their buyers.
So this one is, and this I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I have a couple comments about this. Maybe
Please,
not
man.
Only this particular sale, but this is a TIC.
Yeah.
So this is a new construction
Yeah.
where you can take a single family lot and build 2 duplexes, and they
Yeah.
did just that. So there's a total
Yeah.
of 4 units here, and this is, I've only seen this style of kind of left, right flanked, garage in front. You walk down the side to the entry door. I've seen
Yeah.
this pretty consistently on the west side. I don't know why it was there and not here. I guess they're
Yeah.
trying to maximize they've really put a lot of energy into maximizing their single family lots. But here they are doing it here. Officially built 2 duplexes, total of 4 units, which you can do on a single family lot now, and sold them as a TIC.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's sold at this price as a TIC.
Yeah. That was my big, that was my comment. I put TIC, I go, deal here? I don't know. It's an expensive TIC. Good area. It's definitely a good area. It's walkable. I did notice, as you're saying, the skinniness of it all. They were using that length, right? They were using that depth.
You get you get the 1 car tandem parking. Again,
Yeah.
this is, I think, those who have been building on the west side, this is not a complex transaction or transition for them. Same lot, just built in different neighborhoods. I think we'll most likely start seeing more of these. And, maybe even more that are built and sold as TICs.
Yeah. 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 And I thought, inside, I mean, it looks kind of ho-hum, but there's some nice features in there. It looks good, The little alcoves and the little carve-outs on that second floor.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. That's that. And then we're going to go now to buyer wins, at least by the numbers. We're going to go to 3120 Chaucer Street. Let me get rid of this. All right. And this started at $1,149,000. It ended up at $1,100,000 for a $49,000 reduction. 96% of its list price. And see, 32 days on the market. I did not look back at the history to see if it's further, but let's just check it out here. 3120 Chaucer Street. This is Cypress Park. 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1,445 square feet of living space. That's tight. Sold for $1,100,000, 5,200 square foot lot. Days on market 32, as I said. This is brought to us by Patty Lopez on the seller side, and on the buy side, Rosemarie Rogers and Mac Teschendorf. So congrats to everyone there. Another odd one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a duplex or it's a single family.
3-2.
ADU.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I know Chaucer Street well. It's not a long street. It's a very short street between San Fernando and Isabel. It's kind of hit and miss on the street. I have a client who has a similar product like this. Probably a little more square footage. He'll probably be happy to see this price. But this one's nicely remodeled. I don't know what to say. Yeah. I mean, Cypress Park will continue to go up in price. It's bound to, considering the price of the communities that surround it.
It's funny, it's definitely that transitioning neighborhood, right? Yeah. Old neighborhood, new neighbors. But I put nice street for Cypress Park. I think it's a good street.
Yeah, it's a fairly wide street. That always helps in a transitioning neighborhood. There are not a lot of apartments. It's mostly single family and some small multi-units.
Yeah. But right, it's new construction. It's vacant. I thought it was a deal. The funny thing is there is an easement there with the driveway. So you're sharing a driveway.
Interesting.
But, the downside is no yard and then some yard. The back has absolutely no yard. The front has something. But, they kind of maxed it out. So
Yep.
that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. And then our final buyer win is on Homer Street. This is 4002 Homer Street. $899,000 list price turned into an $815,000 sold price for an $84,000 reduction. 91% of the list price, or not, yeah, that's it. 291 days on the market. Crazy.
That's a long time.
That is, man. They've been working long for that. Let me go ahead and get this running here. 4002 Homer Street. This is Montecito Heights. I call it Lower Montecito Heights. It's as low as you can get. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,360 square feet of living space. Another tight house. 815,000 sold. 4,920 square feet lot. And as I said, 291 days on the market. This is brought to us by Nico Gentili, and on the seller side, and on the buy side, Cindy Nguyen. So congrats to them, their seller and their buyer. What do you think, man?
A couple comments on this. I mean, I bet on the street. The first thing is that it's basically across from the 110 freeway. That's a bit of a drawback.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I would say one of the first thoughts that comes to mind is the first photo and how sometimes a garden and or even being in a house, because I think the theme continues inside, can feel very personal and organic in nature. And
that bougainvillea is charming. Totally charming.
It is, but it doesn't photograph well. I mean,
no.
It's like
It's a little wild.
I don't want to be there.
They didn't chop it up. Yeah.
I think people pay for outdoor destinations. They want to get outside. They want to spend time outside. But in the end, you want a good photo and symbol of the structure itself, because that's what people are really paying for.
True.
So I think it was very personalized on the outside, and that continued inside. There were enough personal items that maybe people couldn't see themselves being in the space. There was not a lot of neutrality. And, just be aware that as a seller, you want to appeal to the broadest group, which is going to give you the best chance of getting it sold at the best price. As soon as you kind of narrow that and you're relying on somebody liking maybe your style, then, it might be harder to sell.
Yeah. Well, I kept reading a little bit here and some interesting things. So there was the owner peacefully passed December 2021 with hospice. So that may have taken some buyers out of the picture for them.
Some, a select few, but some, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, oddly enough, it says this home has character, and some of the interior spaces received custom finishes by designer Matt Sanders, who has worked on homes such as Miley Cyrus's. I don't see it, but
I don't either. Yeah.
And, there's a nice little bonus of that workshop. You see that little shed in the back. So I thought it was a great deal. Really good deal for somebody.
Sure. I don't disagree with that. That's a good point to bring up at the end. That price point is very difficult to get into a finished house. This is a finished, livable house. You could change some of the finishes if you like, but you don't have to move in.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Montecito Heights. We love Montecito Heights. All right. Well, Darren, it is your turn now. Let's see what we got here.
Well, let's go up to Eagle Rock first. 1108 Neola Street.
Wait a minute. That sounds very familiar.
We've sold something on Neola years ago.
I think it was 1102, huh? Let's see.
Yeah, I think it was 1102. I didn't remember the street number.
Why I keep useless info in my head like that.
Right.
I don't know.
I get that.
All right. 1108 Neola Street. This is Eagle Rock, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 1,059 square feet of living space, listed at 839,000. It's a 4,822 square foot lot, and there will be opens Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m. Only one day on the market so far, and this is brought to us by Ariel Dupertuis. So congrats to her.
Glad I didn't have to pronounce that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like this block. It's a nice location. It does have good freeway access. It's got good commercial access.
Yeah.
The house is like the other house we just mentioned. I think it was on Crestmont. It's set way back. So although it's a smaller lot, you capture a large portion of the lot in one view, which you'll cross daily and be active in that space. Small backyard, kind of unattractive with various concrete pours. Inside needs some work, but it's a great price at $839.
Yeah.
And 2-1. So I think this is
well,
a deal.
I was going to comment like, oh, it doesn't look too good. They didn't prep, blah, blah, blah. But it is a trust sale. No court confirmation needed. It says first time on the market since 1975. So it looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of attention. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What else out there?
3003 Peak Place.
Okay. What is this? Glass Hill Park? What is this? Let's see.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is a small lot.
Okay. 3003 Peak Place, Glass Hill Park, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,914 square feet. Yeah, 975,000. 7 days on the market, and this is brought to us by Justin Neo. Yep.
So this is over kind of in that Glass Hill Park into Fletcher, Verdugo to Fletcher transition area there.
Okay.
It looks like six structures in the complex. It's a good amount of square footage. It's very accessible to everything, and for a newer construction, it's a good price at $975.
Very much so. Yeah, and all that square footage. Does it have any outdoor anything? I didn't look.
It doesn't. No rooftop deck. No, it doesn't. Well, let me see here. Wait a second. Maybe
maybe not. No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's got a patio.
There's a small patio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do have to get outside, man. I mean, so yeah, small patio.
Yeah. Well, very nice. That's a good deal. Okay. All right. Let's see. What else?
2346 Echo Park Avenue.
Echo Park. Okay. Is it also for lease? Let's see.
It's it. I didn't see.
Now, when I looked it up, I think 2 addresses came up. Same. Okay. 2346 Echo Park Avenue, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. It's 2,102 square feet. Listed at $1,585,000. 7,970 square feet is the lot size, and again, open houses Saturday and Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m. 4 days on the market so far, and this is brought to us by Douglas Stockley.
So almost 8,000 square feet is a huge lot. This is a duplex. That's something to be aware of. Both structures are quite charming. They're not flipped. There's a lot of original character in them, and it's a great neighborhood. So I think definitely the front units very conducive to owner occupant. There aren't a ton of investors out there in these small multi-unit environment anymore. So really the prime buyer on a lot of these now become a direct owner occupant who will get the additional income from the other unit.
Yeah, rear house is tenant occupied. Yeah. I don't know what the rent is, but yeah, you're totally right. Cool. All right.
All right, I have one more,
Right.
and that is 2680 Ivanhill Terrace.
Okay. 2680. 2680 Ivan Hill. Okay. Well, wait a minute. This looks a little too perfect.
Yeah, I know.
And what's your point on this one? All right.
It's a partially done remodel job. As you navigate in, you see the water damage.
Oh, my goodness.
The older structure. Because this would be an absolute steal in this neighborhood. It would be $1 million more.
Right.
So
Well, let's do the numbers real quick. 2680 Ivanhill Terrace. It's Silver Lake, and let's see, 3-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,598 square feet. Listed at 1,549,000, almost 8,500 square foot lot. One day on the market, and brought to us by York Adkins and Jennifer Okovat. Wow.
So I think in this space, like we have some things we're selling. Oh, by the way, we should announce our price reduction. But in this space, the single family realm, I think there are still builders and flippers that are pretty engaged. I think the multi-unit environment's a little tougher to navigate. But I think this will sell in this range, and we'll see it. Either somebody's just going to build it out and occupy it, which is very possible, or we'll see it on the market for at least $1 million more in a year.
You know, it's very astute, the agents. So it's RTI, so ready to issue permits, and then they go on and they start making comparables, which is right to do. So take full advantage of the captivating views and design a custom home that embraces the surrounding beauty of Silver Lake. Nearby sales include 2620 Ivanhill Terrace, which sold for $2,816,355, and 2537 Ivanhoe Drive, which sold for $2,770,000, plus 2504 Silver Lake Terrace, which sold for $3,750,000. So the evidence is there. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt I was being conservative at 2.5. So yeah, there you go. 2.5 to 3. It's very real.
Yeah. Cool. All right. And that was it, right? You're good?
Yep.
All right. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us again each and every week. We appreciate that. And let's see here. Let me get rid of that guy. Any words of wisdom, Darren? Anything? Parting shots?
Market's becoming more active.
Price reduction. Price reduction is the parting shot.
Yes, for sure. 616 Juanita, Virgil Village, 7,500 square foot, single family home, which is boarded up. It's a development site. We have had in the last 2 weeks $200,000 worth of reductions, $100,000 per week. Don't think that trend will continue on a weekly basis. We've gone from 1.3 to 1.1. Across the street, built or has RTI to build 17 units. So good value, lots of upside here for developers.
Great. I love that parting shot. All right, guys, have a great one. We'll speak with you later. Have a good weekend. See ya.
Bye.